bigger cup.
What's happening? What's happening?
What's up?
Welcome back to another episode of the Daily Smoke. This is Monday, May the
No, it's
24th? Wednesday. I'm sorry, May 25th.
24th.
24th. I'm all off. May 24th, Wednesday. Welcome back to another edition of the Daily Smoke. I'm your boy, Brother Ron.
I'm Brother Los.
Brother Blackman.
And we are the Daily Smoke. And thank you so much to our studio audience for coming and hanging out with us today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This is going to be a very interesting topic. Thank you so much, Joyce Horton, for tuning in as always. Thank you so much.
And hopefully we can hear your opinions on this too.
Absolutely.
Make sure you chat with us or call in. The number is 281-968-1029.
Absolutely.
You can call in and hopefully we get you on real good. We want to hear what you got to say, or just come to the show. Tell us what you got to say.
That's right. We want to hear what you got to say. For real.
Yeah, so we'll see what's up with that. But anyway, so as we do, let's get to these sponsors right quick. First off, we got Bangin' 832 Radio.
Bangin'.
www.bangin832.com. They show right now, they're still showing past episodes of our show on Sundays at 7 o'clock. Don't forget, our time is always 7 o'clock. So wherever you are, when it's 7 o'clock in Houston, we're on just about almost every day.
Pretty much.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely,
so
pretty much.
We're getting there, actually. We're getting there, Even going to add in Sundays, the gospel, PDA's gospel hour.
Absolutely. Forward thing.
We're going to go into that part, So, but anyways, so make sure y'all check it out. So that could be changing from Sundays at 7 to Saturdays maybe, or something different. But so we'll let you know when it happens. So as of right now, go check them out. It's a radio station online. They got other kind of podcasts. They have a lot of Houston-based music. They talk to a lot of local artists, and so they keep it homegrown. So if you're from Houston, or even if you're not, just tune in and listen to them. Maybe you'll like the sound. That South sound.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got Tamia's Touch of Care Massage Therapy. To get with life, get a massage.
Touch my
www.tamiaanderson.com. She's a personal trainer, so she'll get, like I said, she'll get you all tightened up and then she'll stretch you out. And she's it's Black-owned business, veteran-owned. So make sure y'all check her out again, www.tamiaanderson.com. We're working on an actual commercial with her in it to do this part here, so be tuning in for that. And then we got.
There you go.
The Buy Black Marketplace, Black Vendor Market, Book, and Art Fair, the ultimate pop-up experience. Here at Houston at 5903 MLK Boulevard here in Houston, Texas, at the Shrine of the Black Madonna. They're calling on vendors, artists, authors, and Black-owned businesses. It's free, open to the public every first and third Saturday from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. And you can bring your own stuff to sell. You can become a vendor. You can just go down and have a good time. It's family friendly. You can go eat. You can get free classes on a bunch of different stuff. And they got a lot of shit you can sell, you can buy. So if you got something you want to sell, take it down there and make some money, Like you never know, you might become a good hit and people are always going to be buying your shit.
And they feed the homeless.
And that's the other thing. They don't just do that. So earlier during the day on Saturdays, they feed the homeless and they do all kind of stuff for the people. So it's really, their heart is in the right place.
It really is. Their heart is in the right place.
They understand that all of us can't have it good, so some of us can't, so they want to help those that can't, especially if you can't eat.
Exactly.
To me, man, in this country, no one should be fucking hungry. As much money as we waste on shit, and as much food as we waste, no one in this country should be hungry at all. You should not be hungry unless you make it because you're doing it yourself.
I think that speaks volumes to the people that are committed to feeding the hungry or the homeless, like the Bread of Life Ministries or the Star of the Shrine of Black Madonna, Star of Hope. Of course, they take people in. Right. I believe there's a couple other organizations, but to be an individual, I'm not speaking as a company or a corporate entity. To be an individual that decided in one way or another, I am going to tackle this issue of starvation. Right. Of not being able to eat, even though I may have a steak at home waiting on me from my wife or my husband, depending on, who cooks or what have you. You're fed.
Right.
You're eating very well.
Right.
You of all people have the opportunity to walk away from the table, and be like, hey, I'm good. They better get theirs. I got mine.
Right.
But to make sure that other people eat, I think you're dealing with a very special human being.
Sure enough. And to make it, and those that started these companies,
Absolutely.
from the get-go, they said, what do you got to do? Well, just going to ask people to donate food if they can. And I'll just get them out to people as best I can.
Yeah.
But make sure y'all check it out right there, 5309 MLK Boulevard here in Houston, Texas. It's vendor registration is www.thebyblackmarketplace.com. And then we got Puff Passett CBD and more at 4130 and a half Cavalcade here in Houston, Texas, 77026. Check them out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. It's Puff Passett CBD and more. They got you can send them an email at puffpassett20@gmail.com, or you can call the owner, Tanya Ashley, at 713-766-6631. This was supposed to be her show, but unfortunately she couldn't make it.
No. That was my mistake. No.
Oh, but what? I thought that's what we had said.
No, that's not. No.
So it was a different one.
It was my mistake. I had said that it was going to be this week, but she had already planned, and we had already scheduled her to be next Wednesday. So I was saying last time it was my mistake, because I thought it was going to be this Wednesday, but we would have something for him come this Wednesday. So no, it was no fault on your behalf, Tanya. That was all my fault. I do apologize, but we do look forward to seeing you next Wednesday.
Right.
And that is confirmed.
Yeah,
so we'll touch base with you.
On TGIF for sure. So make sure y'all, check it out. The place is real nice. You can rent it out to have your own parties there. You can rent the whole place out if you want. You can just rent out the patio, outside patio. She does during football season. She does Thursday night football. I'm sure she's probably doing some type of baseball games. At some evenings, they do karaoke. On Fridays, I think they have dance classes. They got bike rides. It's a real nice spot, and everything in there is good for your health.
Absolutely.
And it's all legal, so you don't have to worry about nothing. Them cameras were the bomb.
I had a broken toe. It healed in 7 weeks.
Right. We gotta go get that again. And then last but not least, you got us. www.thehadailysmoke.com. That's our website. Go to the website.
Absolutely.
And that will tell you. I tell everybody, if you go to the website, it'll tell you who we are, what we're about, and who we work with. And that tells the whole story of the Daily Smoke and the people we work with. Because, people that have had businesses that were here with us, some that haven't been here, we have them all down there at the bottom. You click it, takes you to their business. So we want to support everybody that we can like that. And that's why we tell you, if you have a business you want to promote, bring it on the show.
That's right.
Let us know. Tell us all about it. Bring some samples or whatever it may be that you do.
Yeah.
Especially if it's food and shit, you got to bring some samples. And come sit with us and tell us about your business, and then we'll put you on the website, and hopefully, we get traffic going your way.
Absolutely.
So that's why we want you to come here, and we also do that, other than just try to make you well-rounded, mentally and physically, and with all the stuff that we do, all the different things we do.
Absolutely. And
then if you want, of course, we want you to donate, support us. So go to Cash App, and it's $TDSMOKE. So $TV Smoke, and pledge your donation. Matter of fact, if I may, Felicia, thank you so much.
Thank you, Fee.
So so she made a donation the other day. So thank you so much. That also, everything helps. And like we say, even if you just if you get up the time to sit on a 7 o'clock on any day that we're on, and you watch that whole hour, you hit that like button, you share, that's enough. That's almost better than money, but you need the money to bring this show, to keep bringing it to you.
Absolutely.
But that is enough if that's what you do, because eventually the more of you that do that, we'll start getting the money that as it comes through.
Absolutely.
Because of you. So but we want you to share in this and come be part of it and sit with us and chill and tell me what you got to say. Teach us something.
We had two new viewers that saw our show, and how you found us.
We're not sure, yeah.
We're not sure, what made you look for us. We don't know that either. But we are glad that you are with us.
Sure, no.
We really are. Thank you so much.
I think they said, right?
One group said that they wanted to be a part of the studio audience, and the other, we didn't know exactly what they were saying, but we didn't know if it was they want to be part of the studio audience or if they want to just sit on camera with us. But either way, you are welcome, and we will be reaching out to you within the next 24 hours. I promise you that one.
Sure enough.
Thank you.
Thank y'all so much for just listening to us and what we've been telling everybody. Go on the website, click that experience, fill that out, and you can be right here sitting with us, or you can just be chilling on the side, having a drink,
Absolutely.
enjoying the show, listening to what's going to be said. You will comment on something.
Absolutely.
Depending on what show you're on, you're going to say something. Everybody always says something from the side.
That is so true.
And I'm sure people watching, they always want to say something too. That's what we say. Go ahead, put it in the chat. Tell us in the chat.
That's exactly right.
So and if you get tired of putting in the chat, then come on down and come sit with us.
That's exactly right.
Do what we do. So yeah, so don't forget, make sure y'all check us out, www.dailysmoke.com. There's certain places where you can see our QR code. If you hit that, boom, it'll take you right to it. We work so hard on that. My man here works so hard on that. It looks real
All
nice.
of it's working hard on it. It
looks real good. The way it's put together, it's easy to maneuver, go through it. So make sure y'all check us out.
This is a collective effort.
Right. So thank y'all. Peace. So what we got, man? How y'all doing? Today was a good day for me,
That's what's up, man.
I'm just glad it's over. Get that first part of the day out, But I got to do that first part of the day out.
You got to do that.
That's the 1% I'm doing for myself, as K Reno was saying.
Absolutely, man. K Reno, thank you so much for always, putting out words of upliftment that encourage us. Ronnie, Murder One, thank you so much as well, being part of that movement, the whole South Park Coalition. We was just looking at K Reno before we went live, man. The brother was saying, in your life, you may get a very small percentage of your life returned back to you in and of yourself. Otherwise, it's going to be dispersed amongst a whole lot of the people that are connected to you, dependent on you, or what have you. And that really helped uplift everyone that was able to sit here and watch that before we went live. Thank you so much, brother, for keeping up the good fight. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. I got to turn myself into a selfish motherfucker. So I get more time. Giving back.
Each one, teach one.
Absolutely.
Right.
Each one, teach one. Absolutely.
Help others like the whole.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When they say it takes a village, they really mean that.
Right.
It takes a
really
village.
Does.
It really does.
That kind of shit don't happen no more, man. I remember back in the day, man, you did some shit. From wherever you did it, those neighbors all the way to your house would pop you upside your head and nobody would say shit. You're like, boy, you know better than that.
They started kidnapping people.
Then all of a sudden, kids started disappearing and shit. But yeah,
That's true.
Back in the day, if the neighbor spanked you because you did something wrong, your mom was good with that. It's like, okay, good. I'm glad you got his ass, because I'm gonna get him now too.
Yeah.
Teach him
We
a
had
lesson not to
shared
fuck around
values.
over there too. It's like, you're gonna do some stupid shit, do it here where I can see.
We had shared values. And I'm not saying that that's not a good way of being. Matter of fact, I'll just say it. I think butt whooping saved my life in jail. When Tiffany asked us yesterday how many of y'all was in jail,
Right.
I think I was only one of the few that didn't raise my hand, because I've never been to jail for whatever reasons. Not that I shouldn't have gone or didn't deserve to go, but I didn't go, only by the grace of God. But I think, part of that is it wasn't just my mother. My cousin Marcella raised me. My aunts, when I went to go visit them, they raised me.
Right.
And all of them had a similar belief system in how a child should be reared.
Right.
And that's why there was never, no dysfunction or, miscommunication between those people and my mother, because, oh, you spanked my child, why? Oh, he did what? I'm glad he saw his ass up. He gonna get one as soon as you walk through the door.
That shit don't happen nowadays. What you hit my child for? You can't be hitting
But
my
now
child.
you have to deal with that. And you have the penal system now that is supporting that as well. Is that a good thing? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know.
Right.
We just don't have similar values and outlooks in terms of, things we think are productive. So I could understand that. I can.
Right. So,
And most of them on medication anyway. You abusing my damn child.
Nowadays, you can't do shit to a kid.
You really
They'll call the
can't.
cops on your ass.
Yeah, they will.
Like back then, that's the last thing I would think, to call the police on my mom and dad.
Exactly.
You know why I wouldn't? Because I knew I deserved that ass whooping I just got. I knew it. I know I did something wrong. I wouldn't have got it if not fucked around. I knew I did it.
I never did it because I didn't want what came after that.
Right.
I didn't want to know. I didn't want to find out. I didn't want to know. I never crossed that line, man. Not that one. Not that one.
Right.
But Lord knows. But man,
It's so different today.
I think that really feeds into our conversation, to be honest with you, man. I think a lot of these problems that we're seeing in our society, in particular, and let's talk about the subject matter, in particular, violence in America, school shootings. So we just had a year later, huh?
Right. I got a little thing here that I looked up earlier. So far, we're only getting ready to be June, right?
Yeah.
There's already been 23 in America this year. There was 51 last year, 35 in 2001, only 10 in 2020 because that was probably at the very beginning before they shut everything down. But still, to have 10 before March, where everything shut down, that's still crazy. That's 3 months to have 10 shootings. And then in 2019 and 18, there was 24 each of the, or 29 each of those years.
And we have how many now?
So far this year, 23.
Oh, we're off to a good start.
Yeah, no, so I
So-
think they said since 2018, it's been 697 school shootings. And another thing I looked at, it was a total of 14 states that had shootings in them.
Really?
And they're counting now, one person got killed at that university yesterday.
Okay.
School shooting.
Okay.
Counting that as one of the ones that happened this year.
Okay.
Matter of fact, on the 22nd, one happened at some preparatory school somewhere. Just the other day, some kid.
Preparatory school?
Yeah, some preparatory school, some East something. I can't remember the state.
Oh, so the rich kids doing it.
This was like just on the 22nd. Some kid got shot at some school, and and they count all that. They count, if officers get hurt during the shit. And, this one that we're talking about now, though, the officers were kind of in hot water for that because they hesitate.
They followed instructions.
That's what they were doing.
They followed instructions.
And the people are like, man, you should have got in there when you could. Maybe less kids would have got killed.
They followed instructions.
I know, but as a parent and my kid is in there,
Sure.
motherfucker, you're the one that's supposed to help my kid. Go. I need you to go right now, not wait. What are you waiting for? In that case, do like that lady did. She went in and got her kid herself.
Was she an officer?
No, she was some regular lady that got past them. That's what I'm saying. It's either I got to go do it myself, but you're the one that's supposed to do this shit. So, I can understand why people are seeing that way. Because even though we know, yes, they have orders they have to follow. There's a hierarchy that they follow. We understand that, but in this case, I need you to move now, motherfucker. Just my kid in there. You know what I'm saying?
So
like that. I don't know how much trouble they got in for that. I know they were in hot water for that shit, and I don't know what's going on a year later. I'm just still fucking with them with that shit.
liberal media has been putting out some of the changes that have occurred since then. Whether people lost jobs, some people got new jobs, some people were, rehired, or, just resigned or whatever. And at the end of the day, the article was saying that nothing's changed. So since nothing has changed, let's look at the data. Since nothing has changed. So when I was looking up the school shootings that we had just this year alone, because that's what I was interested in.
That's 23 of them already.
23 of them.
5 months.
23 separate incidences.
Yeah.
Over the course of 5 months.
Right.
All right. So that we can get a better understanding of what we're discussing, let's make sure that someone that is watching this video knows that we're smart enough to read between the lines. So I'm talking to you right now.
Right.
What they didn't tell you, or rather what we didn't state to you in terms of the statistics that Brother Loach just put out, a school shooting also is defined as, which some of these situations turned out to be, where a mother and a father are having a domestic dispute. They're on school property. The father pulls out a gun, shoots the mama. School shooting.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. They count anything that happened at the school where the officer got hurt or anybody that got hurt, they count that.
Okay, so the only reason I'm not trying to be picky, Los, I'm just being very clear and definite in my thinking, because there are going to be some people that's going to watch this and they're going to think we're slanting the information. And we are slanting the information if we don't point this out.
Right.
An officer may have gotten hurt or shot or killed, but if he was intervening between a mother and a father who just dropped off their child and one of them lose their minds and shoots the other on school property, in the course of that, if an officer was hurt or another kid was hurt or what have you, because the officer intervened, we're thinking Oh my God, school shooting.
Another dude walked in and started shooting people.
That's
the
what
first
we're
thing you think of.
thinking.
Right.
You follow what I'm saying?
That's what, when I looked at this, I'm like, oh, so they're counting anything that happened around school grounds and shit like that. So it's not that dudes are walking in these schools and just killing one kid.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's some that are, but not all of them.
Exactly.
And to be 23 in a nation of 400 million,
It's not bad.
that's not bad.
At all.
That's like 0.000 something.
At all.
You know, because that means 23 people have died.
Now, again, and this is a subject that hits home with me because I love kids. I really do. I know I may not seem like it, but I really do.
You know, I have
And-
kids. They go to schools.
I go really hard because I don't think any children under any circumstances should be put in jeopardy. Now, your child is going to school. You have two parents that acted up, or one parent that acted up on the other, whatever the case. But there was no aggression towards the children themselves. School shooting. School shooting.
Themselves.
School shooting. A person is running away from the police. He or she is driving through the parking lot where they corner him and shoot him. School shooting.
Because he was on a school
Because
ground.
he was on school property. School shooting. Someone goes to this school and they decide to commit suicide, and they may have been a student at the school, and no one else's life was in danger, and they decide to commit suicide on school property. Suicide, school shooting.
Or incident at school. Yep.
So do you see how, and I'm going to say this, I mean this, liberal media will slant your understanding of the issue, which why I think having an opposite evil, such as Fox or Breitbart or what have you, it's just as necessarily bad. But when you have individuals like ourselves, where we're not vested one way or another, we want to know the truth. You have to have that middle ground, and that's what we hope to bring to your attention. That's why I'm pointing out these distinctions and what we're talking about, because now, how many shootings did we have? 23 this year?
23 this year.
If you look at now the statistics and you say, okay, out of these 23, how many of them were aimed at children? Excuse me, brother.
Right.
That number goes down now.
Right.
You
You gotta
understand?
think, too, as we liberal media, school shooting. Oh, I'm gonna make some money because everybody's gonna come
That's
watch
it.
this. Because right away, our thinking is, man, some dude done went into school and killed
Exactly.
somebody. Then you go
Exactly.
watch it, and it's like some guy running past in front of the school got shot in front of the school while the police were chasing him.
Exact school
You know,
shooting.
But we think right away that somebody went in the school.
Exactly.
That's why they use that, because that brings us in.
Exactly. And if you look at, if we take in consideration those numbers, then if the number was 51 for 2022 and we're at 2023 now, depending on if you subtract those cases where children were not the intended target,
would be a
that
lot
number's
less.
going to go down.
Mhm.
And then if we look at 2022 and then take that same consideration, those numbers are going to
So
go
you
down.
figure when they say, they said when they started taking the statistic, I got this off of EDU, that was
Okay.
the name of the website, and they've been taking statistics since 2018.
Mhm.
So that's what, 6 years. So it's 169 in 6 years. So now take out all the ones that aren't actually kids. It might only be.
Now we're looking at true
It might only
numbers.
be like 50.
Now we're looking
You know,
at true
because the
numbers.
rest were all adults
Exactly.
or somebody or something that happened at the school.
Exactly.
You know? But that's the way they manipulate us. And we hear school shooting, it's like, boom, we're on it.
Because
Like,
we're so
oh,
reactionary.
We want to see, damn, what school got killed? That's fucked up, you know. Because looking today, when I looked at some of that Uvalde shit, seeing all the little crosses, I'm like, man, that's fucked up.
You know, we really would love to hear from you all on this subject. Please call in at 281-968-1029,
Especially if you got kids.
especially if you have kids, because whatever that number would be, let's say it's 23 now, let's just be liberal and say 19, 18. Let's use
really
that number.
kids.
That's where it's really kids.
And that could almost be even less.
Okay,
Because it's 23, that could be maybe 12, 13.
let's run with
10
it.
of them were something that happened at school.
Let's ask Bob. Bob, what's a good number for you? You think, even if it's off, what's a good number for you? You would say were probably the number that captures the number of school shootings that occurred in America this year.
Yeah. They
No,
they recorded 23 school
been 23.
shootings this year so far. But of those school shootings, they weren't kids involved. It was other shit that happened around the school. You know, they had it more broke down, but I didn't get to see it in Texas. You know how they showed.
Right.
I mean, at one point they did show a list of from these many years. You know, this many officers, this many teachers, this many adults, this many children, this many hurt, this many shit like that, you know, and I can't remember the numbers, but they did break it down to something like
Oh, she called it and I rejected. I hope you can take it. Thank you.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, Mama,
Hey,
what's
what's
up? Thank
going
you for
on?
calling.
Hey, who is this, Bobby?
No, it's Los and Ron.
Oh, okay, I thought it was Bobby to the phone, but y'all are still talking on the TV. How y'all doing?
We good. We are
Got a
good.
question
Mm-hmm.
and a comment, but I'm trying to figure out, because I didn't know that. I thought that they said that this is a school shooting. This actually involved students or instructors or something that was affiliated with that school. I just know that it could just be a random event that happened on campus and they attributed it to being a school shooting. What, my question is, I'm sorry for the statement, but I just had to call in. What do you think the objective is behind the misleading public that they're trying to turn people from taking their kids to public school? That can't be it because this happens on the campuses of private campuses. What is the objective?
Okay. Thank you for your question. We definitely going to address it now. We appreciate you calling in, Mama. Thank you so much.
She said,
And
why
we're gonna address
all
that
right, we'll
question.
thank you for calling.
Well,
Thank you, for real. Thank
She
you.
said, why would make them point us in that direction?
So before we answer her question, we have to do two things. One, after we address her question, let's make sure we get back to this to the issue, which is school shootings.
Right.
Okay. The second thing we're gonna do before we answer your question, Bobby, if you, the number right now is 23
For this year.
this year alone. What number do you think is the true number where of incidences where individuals were aiming at children, killing children, or went to a school to kill other kids? They could have been a kid themselves with the aim of hurting children at school with a gun. What do you think the true number is in terms of the number of school shootings for this year?
Those
And that we don't know because the data is skewed. So we're just best guess. What do you think?
I would say it'd be below, likely below, about 18 to 20.
18 to 20, you think? All right, let's go with the low number, 18.
shit, I went with like 12 or 13.
About 12 or 13?
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. I'll say why we're going back to that in one second. Now, let's go back to her question. Her question was, what do we think is, and I want to make sure I ask it appropriately, correctly. What is their, meaning media or culture, society, how you want to interpret their, what is their objective in misleading the public? There is a reason. What do you think it would be?
Money.
Ratings?
Ratings, money.
I feel you.
That's what it's about. It's
I
about
feel
money.
you.
Because they know that when we see coming up school shooting, we're watching. We're getting ready to watch. They know we're going to do that because we want to see if it was kids. You know, and then when they do the story, it might be like, man, there wasn't no damn kids. That was some dad that went crazy and shot the mom and shit at the school. Okay, now I understand, you know. But yeah, so that's the reason they do it, because it's all about money, man.
Our channel is the first to report this shit.
I used to always say to people on the news, they want shit to happen overnight so they have something to talk about in the morning, man.
That's true.
You want shit. Oh, you know, nobody wants to come up. So in today's news, ain't nothing happened. Nobody got killed, no car chases, nobody got robbed, nothing happened, nothing. We're good. That's it. Show over.
Brother Dwight, we would love to hear your voice, man. Call in. You know, it's volunteer, by the way. You know, we still love you. But call in. We love to hear your voice, man. But he's absolutely correct. Fear sells products.
That's right. You know,
Which is basically what you
Right.
all are pointing to.
right. That's what I think it is. I mean, there's no other reason why. You know, why not tell the truth? Okay, of the 23 that we call school shootings, only 3 kids got killed. Everybody else was some other shit that happened. Okay, that don't mean nothing, but if that's what I know they're going to talk about, I'm not going there as much as school shooting. My thought already, because of what's been going on, is, oh, I got to see what school got shot up now. Like, that's fucked up. right away I'm boom, I'm there. I'm watching your show because I want to hear what you got to say about this. You know, once I'm there, it's too late. They got me already.
Right.
Because I'm gonna sit there and listen to the
Right.
story, and then I'm gonna know all
Right.
this
Hook, line, and sinker.
So they already got you there. Once all you need to do is go. Once you get there, that's how they do their shit, and then they know that. Hey, look, every time we do school shootings, there's this many people. So as an advertiser, I'm like, yo, man, I want to do a commercial next time you do a school shooting thing. You know, because people are gonna watch. They're going to watch. So I need them to see this. You know. So yeah, that's crazy.
See, fake news is always about money.
That's right.
You sound like Trump.
Right.
So it's a. This is just my opinion. I think it's twofold, and they're both connected. On one end, yes, fear does sell products. Fear is about, making money, and also the way that school shootings are classified. That's what the news is going off of.
Right. Right.
So we always want to make sure we have our baseline straight, which is the reason why they're able to report it as a school shooting, because the rules thereof or the guidelines thereof in terms of what constitutes a school shooting or what is constituted as a school shooting. Think of it in the same way as when we talk to you about mass shootings. If I right now went and got a gun and shot 1, 2, 3 people here, 4 people here, and then the police showed up, they now can advertise on Channel 13
Mass shooting.
a mass shooting,
But not a school shooting.
but not a school shooting.
Yeah.
But I was just mad or lost my mind to 4 people in my house.
Right.
But because when you start thinking mass, you're thinking large numbers.
Right. So that's going to draw me in too, because it
That's
might
gonna
be
draw
another
you in,
Vegas
too.
dude that shot all them people. Like, oh, what the fuck happened
Exactly.
now? Who went off? You know?
Exactly.
Is it another dudes that like them dudes in California? They said they were Arab. I don't think they were. And walked down the street, a husband and wife just shooting people and shit.
Yeah.
You know you want to see if that's what would happen. You know, but then you see,
Exactly.
oh, some dude went crazy in his house and killed his family and shit. Okay.
It's just like when you mentioned California, and I promise you, we're not getting off topic. I'm coming right back to the point. We're only giving these examples to highlight. There was a situation in California, I think about a year ago, where some dude lost his mind, took his car, plowed up on the Embarcadero in California and San Francisco and ran a lot of people over.
Yeah.
You don't hear too many, and I think it happened in multiple locations.
Right.
But you don't hear mass homicide or running
Mass
over people, mass rundowns. You know what I mean? Because it isn't happening to the frequency where they can exploit it and it become a public concern.
Right.
They treat it as an isolated event, even though it happened multiple times in multiple locations.
Right.
All right. I think personally that because the media is presenting it the way that they are presenting it in the context of the rules that's been given them. And I don't think it's so much primarily aimed at ratings and money in terms of the way that they're presenting school shootings. This is my opinion. I think the school shootings is the last step that we're going to need to convince a nation of people that don't really understand violence on the scale that a lot of other countries are accustomed to. And if they are to change the laws regarding gun ownership, that's the end game. The end game is not the rating. The rating just helps me get some money along the way. Because you need that money.
And start putting it in people's mind. Look how bad this
Get
is.
as much as we can.
You know, this is what guns is doing.
If I can now, because think about it, prior to Columbine,
I ain't never heard of none before that.
there was, well, me and Bob and Tawana did. There were school shootings every other, however often in South Park. That's not new to us, as we said this over and over to you all throughout the last 2 years. School shootings is not new to us. As a matter of fact, the reason it didn't happen as often was because black people at that time, and I'm speaking about the early 90s now, black people at that time, at the end of the day, we weren't really trying to deal with the police, and we knew if you even carried a gun on property, even though there was some gun-toting drug dealers with beepers, they didn't bring it on campus because we knew now you're looking at real time. We weren't trying to do that.
Right.
But school shootings in terms of like in the area, because we had a problem with this dude over here or what have you, or violence, we were accustomed to it. Now,
Right.
there's been a movement to curb gun violence, and they've used, and when I say they, I speak first and foremost the media. They've used other individuals and their circumstances and plights to try to get automatic weapons out of the hands of the average consumer
Right.
or citizen of America.
Right.
What better way would you have than, okay, it ain't only affecting just the black people. Now, you know, white folks killing each other.
Right.
Now we got white kids killing other kids.
Right.
Now they doing it on school property. Right?
Right.
Because remember, Batman, The Dark Knight Rises. I'm sorry, The Dark Knight. We had a shooting in a movie theater.
Right. Because of that. Yeah,
Because of
dude
that.
Wore that
Well-
Bane, in the theater, he wore that Bane shit.
Yeah, because he was identifying with the character,
Right.
but he didn't kill him because of Bane. He killed him because he was already crazy,
Right.
and he wanted to do what he wanted to do anyway. And what better way than with a gun? We also had a shooting in a church
Right.
where a lot of black, elderly black citizens lost their lives.
Burger King kid.
Yes, took them to go eat afterwards.
Right, right.
So we've had violence,
Mm-hmm.
but in terms of it affecting us in our collective consciousness, we're not really familiar with violence outside of since the civil rights movement.
Right. Right. So
As a
the
whole,
more you show me, the more people are gonna start.
now
Now they're
our
gonna start
babies,
voting for that shit for the damn
now our
to
babies.
get rid of guns and shit. Yeah.
Because now when you see school shooting, even before you learn the facts or the details, the first thing goes to your mind is, oh, my baby.
Right. Right.
Oh, my baby went to school in Texas. Oh, my baby went to school in Houston, so far from Uvalde. Oh, my baby went to school in Dallas, which is closest to Uvalde. Oh, my baby lives in Uvalde. Oh, my baby is 5 years old and was going to school next year in Uvalde.
Right.
Oh, my baby was going to graduate from
close.
5th grade and go to 6th grade to that school in Uvalde.
Right.
Oh, that could have been my baby.
Right. Right.
So now you're messing with the consciousness.
Right.
Hey, y'all, listen, I'm a no BS person. So I'm if you want to have a conversation with me, I want to get into the thinking. I'm not concerned about reacting against what happened, because that's going to happen.
Right.
Get into the thinking of why it's happening. That's when you can start making changes.
Right.
Because the only change that the parents have said since 1 year ago in Uvalde to now has been none. But the change they're pushing towards gun violence, hey man, what you need an AR-15 for?
That's exactly what people are trying to.
That's the conversation, not
What do you need that for? You don't need no.
not that you shouldn't have a 45 Magnum.
Right. No. No. You don't need an
You
automatic
understand?
weapon.
What do you need with an SMG?
Right.
Not that you have a 30R6, because see, there's. What do you need with a high capacity magazine?
Right.
Not the fact that you can have what is a SIG SAR with 816 rounds in it.
Right. Right.
Because if you look at the number of children that lost their lives, you could perform the same feat with a smaller caliber weapon with lesser
Right.
reload time.
Right,
So you
right.
still had the same number of deaths.
Right.
You just had a semi-automatic weapon. But that is not the conversation that we are hearing, are we?
Right. Right.
We're
I'm
heering
just thinking because
high-powered rifles and automatic
You can
weapons.
kill a bunch of people at one time. Well, I can still walk in with a shotgun full of shells.
So what are
Kill
you
a bunch of
concerned about my
motherfuckers.
baby to begin with?
You know, so it don't matter whether it's automatic or not. Any gun coming up in that school,
See what I'm saying?
kill a bunch of kids and shit.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
See, was you really like, that's why this show is so important. Because let's sit down and talk about it.
right.
If not, we're going to keep reacting.
Right.
And that's the problem.
Right.
That is precisely the problem. We're speaking and reacting without thinking.
Right.
Now,
That's
that we,
common amongst humans. You know, that's how they got us trained.
it is, but again, that's why. Thank you, Lord, for Monday's show.
You know,
Thank you, Lord, for Monday's show.
You know, like
That is why
educate,
that is still no
educate,
excuse.
read,
That is
educate.
still no excuse, because what you just did was you abdicated your power to a higher authority and gave them permission to think for you.
Right.
And since you did that, whatever they said is what you're reacting to, you're complicit.
You know, you got to wait another 4 years
You're,
to put
you're
somebody else
complicit.
in there.
Because you didn't take the time to understand, hey man, I've been following the lie, until you get older and be like, oh, I've been lied to. No, dummy, you just was lazy.
You just didn't go find out.
That's your sin.
Right.
You was
right,
just lazy.
right.
Because now that we got the groundwork out the way, now we can have a conversation about a year later.
Right. Right.
I asked Bobby that for a very specific reason. What's the true number that you think? Even if it's wrong, we're not going to, get mad, because we asked, what do you
We don't
think?
know.
So let's just say the number is 18. Hey man, what are we going to do to reduce that? Because there was a day in America where the number was 0.
I know.
I was alive. You was alive.
Right,
You
right.
was alive. You was alive. And most of y'all watching this show were alive. That there was a day.
That's why Columbine was so like.
That's why I was shocked.
Like,
Oh
in
my
school?
God.
yeah, that was right away. We were like, the
And a
fuck's
white
going- And
kid.
it was white kids like, oh shit, like the fuck's
Because
going
we'd
on?
already been seeing it on
Right.
Boys in the Hood and South
Right,
Central
right. We were seeing that.
and Minister Society. So it's not that it was a new phenomenon. It was just new to a lot of people.
Right.
But
Plus,
there
because
was a day.
this was somebody that had nothing to do with this school killing a bunch of kids and teachers.
Hey man,
It wasn't somebody
Thought it
figured
out, too.
And no, they knew exactly. They had pipe bombs and everything, boy.
planned it out too.
You know, so yeah, that we never heard of nothing like that.
Matter of
Nothing.
fact, let me see how good y'all memory is. If you're watching the show, let's test your memory. And I'm only gonna give you 10 seconds to think about it, because a lot of y'all like to use Google. I need to see how smart y'all are. What was the first conversation that America made priority after Columbine school shooting? What did we start taking serious? What was the first thing? Do you remember? 10,
NRA.
9, nope. 8, 7, nope. 6, nope. 5, those were symptoms. 4, nope.
What was wrong
3,
with them kids?
2, 1, nope. And bullying.
Right. You're exactly right.
We didn't talk about gun protection, gun control.
And it was bullying at that
We
time.
discussed bullying. Because
that's why they
those
went
children, that's why they went.
That's why they were getting bullied.
But then it happened again.
Right.
What we start focusing on? Bullying.
Right.
We didn't talk about guns. Only when it started happening in separate parts of the nation and started
And
happening
more
more
often and shit.
frequently,
Yeah.
then we went the next level. Okay, we need to escalate this.
Yeah.
Guns
We might have to
and
talk about
bullying.
guns. Yeah. Right. Right.
But again, that's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Bullying. If you're in that 10-second window, you're absolutely correct.
That's
Bullying.
right.
So let's get back to the question. What are we going to do about this?
What we can do, they're not gonna take away guns. Even if they took all automatics, like we just said, I
That's
go with
not
my
the answer.
handgun and
What we
shit.
gonna
I
do
could
about
do at
this?
least 7.
You know, what are we going to do about this?
You know, so I don't know what we're gonna do. It's not gonna be guns.
And it's not like, it's a different conversation than, okay, like England and Australia, they solved their gun problem by removing the weapons from the holds of the citizens. That's not an answer for us because
no,
we
right.
have a total different
We
orientation.
got away from that shit.
The right to bear arms is in our Bill of Rights. So we automatically know, no matter how small the difference is, that's the difference.
Right.
So let's just go ahead and get rid of that conversation.
And that makes sense too, because in order for me to win this war, citizens had to have guns.
She said mental health services, citizen have, absolutely. That's how we won. You had a standing army. You're a
Right.
citizen.
So I'm never going to try to take that away from them, because what happens if my army is losing? Last field is us. We're the last defense.
I disagree with you, Sir Nacho Cheese, for two specific reasons why it's not so much remove the stigma from needing help. Okay, now if that's your point, yes, there is a stigma attached to mental health. But I think addressing mental health and addressing guns to reduce gun violence at school is putting the cart before the horse, and I'm gonna tell you why.
But for me, it's like if I may not be mentally fucked up,
Absolutely.
but I'm tired of this motherfucker fucking with me.
Absolutely.
That now, just because I went and got a gun and I want to go kill this motherfucker, that doesn't make me mental. I couldn't
Absolutely.
take it no more, you know.
Absolutely.
So I had to act. You know, so that's one of the things where
Absolutely.
mental health is like really not that much of an issue on some.
It is, and it is though. I don't mean that to say I disagree with her in principle and disagree with you in principle. No, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. We need to take mental health way more serious.
Right.
We need to destigmatize mental health. Absolutely. That's why we got Brother
Right.
Dwight on the show.
Right.
That's from an experiential point of view. That's why we got people like me and Danessa and Tiffany from an experiential and certified point of view.
Right.
We can talk about this, but I still
We
think
need to fix that within the parents because the kids could be getting it from the parents. Parents are mentally fucked up.
I think we're missing the mark. I think we're still missing the mark. And the reason I say that, let's look at it. Let's talk about it from mental health. We think addressing mental health may reduce school shootings. Let me tell you why I disagree. For the same reason that we thought that having Obamacare would produce a healthier, more insured society.
Right.
As a matter of fact, we got just the opposite. Why? Because with Obamacare, oh my God, and please don't call in arguing with me on this. This is just, if you just don't know this, just don't argue with me. Just sit and read do your homework and then come back and talk to me. If you don't know, please don't argue. The reason why in Obamacare it didn't work was because the only people that enjoyed the benefits of Obamacare were the pharmaceutical companies. Because all he did was, by making Obamacare more accessible and inclusive and mandatory, you just put more people in the system that was paying more for a pharmaceutical-driven business, not for a business that improves one's health. The same exact thing would happen if you did that with mental health in the name of reducing school shootings. What you're going to do is you're going to make it more accessible, even in some cases more mandatory. But what you're going to do is now you're putting more children and or parents on medication because medical insurance of mental health is driven primarily by the pharmaceuticals. Right. So you just did the same damn thing twice.
Right.
That is not the answer.
Comes back to money.
It comes back to money.
Back to money. It's all about money.
They're making mental health more accessible in school, but you know what the problem is now? They're still not getting quality health. The counselors can't help them because they're inundated with students now.
Right, you got too many.
So now, and they need meds. So you're putting a strain back on the delivery system while making the pharmaceutical company richer, while the problem has still gone unsolved.
Especially with all the meds. Now the meds are fucking with people.
That's how we got
That
here.
might make me think, I would never go into a school and shoot somebody, but I'm tired of this motherfucker. I'm gonna do it now.
All you did was, she says you have to stop the shooting. Nacho cheese, sweetheart. All you're doing is stopping the bleeding, but you never pulled out the bullet.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying? You never sewed up or patched up the organ that was blown to hell. You just stopped the bleeding. Now, do I have a solution? I know what it's not. They need to stop this conversation about taking our guns away. That ain't gonna happen. It should never happen.
Never gonna happen.
It should never
There's
happen.
a question there for you.
A question?
Or somebody.
Of all people, you know how I feel about mental health and meds, but it's part of the answer. Again, it's part of the answer after you've actually identified what the problem is.
Yeah.
See, the mere fact we're thinking that these children are doing this because of bullying and or because they may be crazy or experiencing some type of mental duress, I got one for you. This is why I don't think guns should be taken away. And this is why, as a champion, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, I'm a champion of those that are considered crazy by this establishment.
Yeah.
I'm a card-carrying member, and I hope to be one day they lead, and I'm going to tell you why. Because if you look at most mass shootings that occur, if not damn near all, it didn't occur by anybody that had a previous mental health record.
Right.
It didn't happen by somebody that was on meds and off their meds and would have killed somebody today.
We didn't know they were crazy until after. It was too
Because
late.
most people that are that ill, Los, they suffer from paranoia.
So they're not gonna do
They're
this.
more scared of you than me.
Right. There's no way they're gonna be scared. He can't go into a school
Don't get a gun and do this because you're off your
thinking,
man.
man, if I kill these kids, I'm gonna be killed. They ain't gonna do that shit. Fuck all that. They ain't got time for that.
That just lets me know we don't understand what's going on. Okay, let's get back to the
We
conversation.
gotta get back.
What are we gonna do about this?
Yeah, I don't know what we got to do as a collective.
We got a problem.
And then in all reality, you can come at it in this way. There's 400 million of us, man. Only 23 died this year.
I know.
How much is that? That's only 23 people. There's 400 million of us. You know,
I
even
know.
if it happens, like they said, it's in the past 6 years, 169. Okay, in the past 6 years, 100. There've been more people born than that in the past 6 years.
I
So
know.
it's really the number of people getting killed by that is so small. But what gets to us is you're doing it at our
Yeah.
school, and it's our fucking kids. That's what's fucking.
That was a day, man. The number zero. There was
You never heard of that shit.
there was never a day where nobody got killed in America by a gun.
Right.
Because
We
we've had guns from day
we
one.
didn't have to have the laws where if you sold drugs by a school, you get an extra time. Or now you can't have a cell phone on your cell phone when you're going through the school. So we didn't have
Exactly.
none of that shit, man.
Exactly.
Nobody was fucking around
But
at schools.
if you know what I mean, we had certain standards.
Right,
Like
right.
if people started saying, hey, you need to the whole reason they had to put in the school zone issue, because I remember a day where there was no school zone speed limit because people were disregarding the sanctity of our children's lives.
Right.
And so because they had to get to work,
You're
because
right.
they
I
weren't
don't
paying
remember
attention.
the lights flashing.
You
and
understand?
shit back in
Like-
the day. It didn't matter, you know.
Like I'm being
I
specific.
think for me, I knew that I'm around a school. I got to make sure no kid out there running. If the kids were outside, then I would slow down because I know these motherfuckers will run out in front of you.
But everyone doesn't have that consideration.
Right. So that's why they start putting that shit
And that's
in.
why they had to do it.
Mandatory. Yeah,
But they
slow
didn't
the fuck down.
didn't do it because they just felt good about it. They did it because enough kids started getting hurt
Right.
or
right,
run
right,
over.
Right.
To now that number has drastically reduced.
Right. Getting off the
Almost
bus,
nil.
getting hit and shit,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that number is exponentially lower.
Right.
But because we had to address a problem that we didn't have to deal with prior. So we're seeing the results in that area. There was a day where there were no children getting killed in school.
Right.
So the question becomes, now do we have to rearrange our thinking in terms of what's a number we can live with? Well, hell,
Right.
that may be your baby one day.
Right. I
All
can't
right.
live with that number.
All right. All right. Or we have to come up with a workable solution. Same. Teach the children how to think positive man about themselves. Same for adults. Love yourself.
Right.
Absolutely.
We put more security in there. We start paying for,
Okay.
part of our school taxes is to also have
Okay.
officers there, which I know my girls' school, they
Okay.
do have an officer that hangs out all day long. They do the traffic and shit.
Okay.
And they're in there all day walking around and shit. So that used to never be. I don't never remember going to any school where there was a fucking cop walking around. You know?
See,
I wouldn't that at all.
I would rather live with, or I would rather have children that have to live with the reality of a cop being at the front door
Mm-hmm.
and a metal detector than them having to adjust to the mentality that, hey man, some of us may not come back from PE.
Right. Somebody might come in here one day and start killing us, everybody.
What do you do with the disgruntled employee that does that?
Glad you
That's
brought
a whole
that up.
different section
I'm
of
glad you brought that up. But teachers are employees.
Right.
I mean, because when we stop disrespecting the value of life, is when it could change. Because, like you said, they're not gonna take guns.
They're not going.
That's the easiest way to kill. You don't see nobody bringing on knives and throwing darts. You know, there's so many other weapons that you can use.
Right.
But, okay, this is the only weapon that's protected under our constitutional right. And
Okay.
we refer that to a gun. You understand what I'm saying? So
Okay.
it's a weapon. To be a weapon of choice, and we refer that to a gun. So that's not going to come out of there. So we move when it hurts our heart.
Right. And what
Where's
better?
the movement? I'd like to say it still happens.
The movement is they're blasting it on TV 1 year later. School shooting 1 year later. Nightclub shooting
But that's
1 year
already
later.
always
Employee
been-
killed a bunch of people.
The children are now being put to the forefront of the fight.
Right.
But you're right. We're not addressing the issue. But within the context of the school shootings, because that's what tugs at our hearts the most. It wouldn't negate
Right.
people or the transgenders that lost their lives in
Right.
Orlando. that hurt us,
tragic,
but it didn't
oh,
move
that's
us.
fucked up. But no,
You understand? It
once
did,
you
it hurt
hear
us,
that, what this
but it
dude
didn't
killed
move us.
17 kids.
Yeah,
What the fuck?
Yeah, because we feel that the school is protected.
It's
But
supposed
the
to be a
school,
sanctuary.
hey,
Yeah.
by the way, let's not forget terrorism, homegrown terrorism, radicalism, violence like this. Hey, man, there was 4 little girls that lost their lives in Alabama around in the late 60s.
Right.
I'm sorry, early to mid 60s. You understand?
Right.
So, like, hey, I'm not taking away the sanctity of life. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be
Kids in
something
Oklahoma
done.
that were in that
Oklahoma.
most of them, that building he blew
Blew up the whole building.
Right.
The sanctity, we have a basic disregard or conditioning towards life, but within the context of the school, because you have to understand this is one of our last places.
Right. It's our future.
This is our future. This is what's going forward. They attacked church. They attacked our places of work. Or we attacked our churches. We attacked our places of work. We attacked our homes or what have you. But now we're dealing with the youth. This is what's going to be running all of this shit.
Right. Even that dude at Kent at that university killed all them kids. That was something that happened back in the day. That was very rare.
That was Kent University.
Yeah, that was university. That was a school.
What are we going? I'm sorry, you were saying something, Tawana? The question is, what are we going to do to protect our children in school?
Right.
That's what this show is. It's
Right,
got
right.
to be.
It gotta be.
Because you got to change the mindset of the people.
Then put cops at the front door. What about that?
We gotta.
Like you said, like I asked you, what about the disgruntled employees? What about the little kid, this little boy, the 6-year-old?
That killed that teacher. Yeah, shot that teacher in the
You
head.
know, so you're going to go to the metal detector every morning. Okay, I get that one, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay, you can go to the metal detector, but like I said, what about the person that's doing in their car? You know, like what about if it's the employee? What about
The teacher.
Somebody.
Yeah, but they're getting scanned too.
They can make and put together a gun. It ain't got to come together. It ain't got to come.
I'm not trying to be funny.
Through the door.
I'm not trying to. Yes, it does. It does. See, that's my point. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm really not, and I'm not trying to be an asshole, y'all. We got to stick to the point because that's where the truth is.
Right.
If you're talking about a disgruntled employee and we're talking about stopping school violence, we are now regulated to 2 people: cops, if there are any cops on the campus, and teachers.
Right.
Because there has been talk about arming teachers.
Right. Let them be armed so that in case
Okay.
somebody comes in.
So if we're
But I
talking
feel
about,
her point. What if one of them that's armed goes off?
so now we're talking about teachers being allowed to shoot another teacher or a child.
Right.
That's the only way that a disgruntled employee, outside of talking about the context of a cop,
Right.
of what you're saying applies. Okay, it's arming the teacher. So we're talking about teachers and cops.
Right.
Is arming teachers and cops the answer?
Well,
Arming just teachers or just cops?
I don't think putting cops at the door is the answer. You know.
That might be,
I
though.
believe that that's the answer.
Why not?
It'll deter someone from coming up there if there's cops there.
Okay.
You know.
No. We're not attacking you.
And
We're just having a
and
conversation.
besides, I'm checking
Yeah, okay.
everybody
Okay,
coming in
what's
there.
the reasoning for it?
Okay.
I would feel more comfortable with the cop than the teacher.
Me too. Scan them.
For your very point,
They walk in.
that was my
and
first.
they're
That was my first concern.
We're scanning you first.
You're going to put a cop at every door, in every school, in every city. Every place.
If that's what it takes.
That's where they're doing the school shootings at. That's where they're doing the school shootings.
How many entrances are there to schools?
It's a lot.
Elementary school might be 2, 3 at the most.
Right.
High school maybe a few more because they have a few more exits. Elementary schools usually the front door.
Yeah, okay.
There's a back door. Maybe one to access the gym.
Okay.
And maybe a couple other ones that go into something.
No problem. Let's
but
not
you
put the
wouldn't
whole
really gonna
armada.
go get in there. You're not gonna get in those.
Let's not make it hard. Let's not bring out the whole armada and the whole precinct. I got you, Bob. Let's not put the whole precinct out there. It's okay. Good. There's a perimeter, right? Every school in America has a perimeter.
Usually playgrounds and shit and all that.
If
all
you're
the stuff
if you're
around
dealing with
before you get to
playgrounds,
before you get to the building.
hey, yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm really on my game
There's
tonight.
parking and shit,
You really have to
like
be
that.
precise when you talk tonight, because I'm really on my game. Because we're talking about kids. I specifically didn't drink or smoke or whatever tonight, because we're talking about kids. So I'm on my game.
Right.
If we're talking about a playground, you're talking about kids.
Right.
You just said yourself, kids, you're only talking about 2 or 3 at the most entrance points.
Right.
Into the school, put 2, 3 cops that in if it's that many entrances.
Right.
If we're not talking about middle to high school, all right, cool, multiple, because I went to Sterling, we had multiple entrances, but you know what we had? There was a perimeter, there was a fence.
Right.
In order to get onto this property,
gotta
you had to cross this fence or this perimeter.
Where these
If you have
people are
to,
watching.
or these people, school teachers out there letting cars out or whatever, or
Right.
buses or what have you,
Right, right.
there is a perimeter. Put a cop at the perimeter, or a cop at
Right.
the perimeters or the entrance
Right.
points.
That's what I-
because there's only 2 or 3 at the very most for a high school.
Right. And that's why I say, you know, it would be something where we're already paying the school tax. So if they were to raise that for that purpose, I don't have a problem because I know my kid's going to be safe. Because I know if I even think of going to a school, I'm going to be scared because I know there's a cop at every fucking door. I'm not trying to sneak in there like that.
Why aren't there more school police? Why aren't there more school police?
Because it boils down to the state.
Hey guys, do they have school police? And we always had police. Like you said earlier, that you know, we've been used to school shooting. You understand what I'm saying? The police always
Off campus.
Off campus, near campus, you know, we've always had officers.
Right.
Officers.
Right.
It's always been the police.
Right.
We've been introduced to the police early in our life. So, I mean,
Right.
it still didn't stop or deter people from even shooting around. But, you know, yeah, they didn't run in and do anything crazy over there.
Let's go back in the day.
You understand that?
Could be somebody coming at the end of the day as they're coming out and start shooting at them.
No.
That's not what they're trying
Nope.
to do. 'Cause
Nope.
They're exposed.
Nope. 3 people, the two other people in this room gonna be able to feel me on this because we all went to school in the same city. When we was younger one day, drugs was a real problem.
Yes, it was.
Guns was a real problem on campus. You know what happened? You never knew when it would happen. We all had to stay in our classes and got locked down, and we saw cops with dogs going up and down the hallway. You
Right.
never knew when it was going to happen, but
Right.
it happened.
Right.
And that helped deter that behavior. Now, you mean to tell me that we have no way of screening these people coming into school property, but I can't even damn take a cup of Lysol on to catch my plane on my way out of
Right.
the airport?
Right. So there's
because
gotta be
there
a
was
way.
a day we remember being able to walk up to the damn door and see your loved one off
your whole
right before they
family
got
can
off on the
go
airplane.
and wait for them right as soon as they got
You
off.
can't even bring Listerine now.
It could only be 2 ounces of liquid that can go, or frozen.
I wouldn't care if it was 17 ounces.
Right.
There is a screening process.
Right.
Whole fucking law.
And what about it's gonna make it late for your plane? Well, figure it out.
Get there earlier. That's all.
We can't have no more of these planes going into our buildings.
Right.
Let's go back to the question since we now have the conviction again.
Yeah. So
What
that's
we
what
gonna
we
do
got.
about this?
That's what we got to do with schools, you know. But
This gotta go
it
back
all-
to zero.
It all boils down to money. They
Okay.
don't have the money to put a perimeter and that kind of screening at every school in America.
Hey man,
You know.
we gotta do something about
But
this.
that might be the only way you have to do it. We're gonna have to you know, buck up and say fuck it. We gotta pay a little extra.
This is non-negotiable.
You know, it's like yeah.
If this becomes negotiable, America is truly over.
Right. So we have to do
If
something.
our children's lives in school, no, they ain't. That's okay. But let them bastards shoot it out with them at the gate.
Right. At least,
I know,
yeah,
that's
you
what
know.
I'm saying. You know, that's another thing too. Respect and order needs to be brought back to the police too as well. It
Agreed.
really does.
Agreed.
They'll shoot
Agreed.
their ass from afar and don't get too thoughts about it.
But see, that's all part of the whole
the
system to
police
get it
run
to
the
work.
story. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they don't even have the gear and weaponry that we have over here in America. You know, they don't even have it like that. But the police need something over there. They need to put that respect back into it. You know, they are supposed to bring law and order. You know what I mean? They think they want to bring the law and order themselves. So hey, I'm gonna take you out. But I can bring the law and order. You know?
There was a situation
Yeah.
that I think, and I'm with you. There was a situation that are both of these situations are totally unrelated in terms of who did what, but they're very, very related in the underlying symptom or cause. There was a situation where this kid, teacher made him mad, and one day he caught his parents slipping. He was 5, 6 years old. I think 6 years old, second grade. 6 years old, second grade, first grade. Came to brought a gun to school, shot the teacher in the head. She lived. She has a suit now against the school.
Yeah.
But the kid was already being watched and had mental health
Right.
counselors
Right.
and was going through therapy. And the one time that the parents left the gun accessible was the one time that he
And he
said,
got it.
"Oh, I got my opportunity. I'm gonna go get this bastard." And
Right.
that's exactly what he
Went to
did.
the school and shot her.
7 years old.
Yep. I think it was like 6.
Not too much later, that was just recently, where a 5-year-old boy shot a 4-year-old boy shot his 2-year-old sibling.
Fucking around with a gun. Playing with him, some shit.
Thank God the child lived. I think they're speaking to a deeper problem,
Right, right.
and I'm not going to go into that.
No, anyways, we're out of time anyways. We went over. So you know
But
what?
thank y'all so much.
Tune in next year, 24th May 2024.
Yeah,
We'll be
man.
3
Yeah,
years
man.
in, 2 years.
Yeah, man.
3 years in to talk about school shooting. And hopefully
Yeah.
we do find a way to solve this shit, you know. And like she said, we got to bring that respect back to the police.
I love
They need to bring
kids,
that
man.
to it. So that's all part of the equation of trying to get this
Kids,
trying to get
man.
this into thing. You know, there are future.
Lives matter.
Yeah. So anyways, thank y'all for joining us as always. Much love for your support. Have a wonderful evening. I'm Brother Los.
I'm Brother Ron, and thank you
Like
for our
I said,
studio
our
audience
studio
and
audience,
viewers.
applause,
Thank you all.
applause.
We
And
love
all
you all.
out
Thank
there
you.
that chatted with us and had something to say. We thank you all as always. We're out.
Peace.